Child has been charged with 3 counts of sexual assault of a child. Now, that alleged victim is only 6 years old. ABC 13 spoke with the victim's mother last week. You might remember this story. She was visibly upset, hurt, and outraged. She said her son was assaulted multiple times by another boy on the bus. Well, the Harris County DA's office is saying those charges were filed after an investigation by the DA's Juvenile Division and the Aldine ISD Police.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Fair use allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission from the copyright holder for purposes such as criticism, parody, news reporting, research, and scholarships and teaching. Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this video or any video, including the Writers for Life Brings You Let's Talk About It podcast, do not reflects on the opinions of y'all Shorty, Racheal, and the members of the Writer for Life podcast. Everything we talk about is allegedly and is our opinion. Our videos are not recommended for minors. Everything we talk about and do is meant for educational purposes and also entertainment. Please keep in mind that the majority of our videos are for educational purposes only. This world is crazy. I would say shady. Ironic, right? Nowadays, you can't trust no one. When you do, niggas be having their panties all in a bunch, thinking that they own one. Saying the things that you accomplished in life is theirs and that you owe them one.
Breaking news, an 11-year-old is now facing felony charges for allegedly sexually assaulting a 6-year-old boy on a school bus.
We first told you about this disturbing story last week. Maria Aguilera joins us from the newsroom with the update. Maria.
Lenmia, the Harris County District Attorney's Office confirmed tonight the suspect, who is 11 years old and a student at Aldine ISD, has been charged with 3 counts of aggravated sexual assault of a child, all felony charges. It was last week on February 6 when the mother of the 6-year-old spoke out during a news conference with community activist Juanel X and Dr. Candace Matthews. We're not showing her to protect her son's identity. She said this all started earlier this month when she asked the school to look into an incident about her son's backpack being thrown out of the school bus window. The mother said once the district reviewed the camera footage from the bus, they saw the alleged sexual abuse taking place. They called her back to the school later that day to let her know. And she says, according to the school, surveillance video reveals the abuse went back months and may have started in September. The school told us they alerted district police and CPS on February 1st, which began an immediate investigation, which resulted in the charges tonight. We reached out to Matthews and Quanell tonight. In a joint statement, they say, quote, "This is a tragic case that involves more than one family. In this case, there are no winners, but there are definitely losers, the children in particular." They go on to ask for prayers for the children and for the district to come up with real solutions to prevent this from ever happening again. The mother told us last week her son is too young to understand what happened, but the DA's office says he is undergoing counseling. Certainly a terrible situation that will continue to follow.
How fast is...
Alright, y'all. So, y'all heard the update. By the way, let me do this, right? Hey, what up, everybody? This y'all Shorty, Racheal. I hope all of y'all is having a blessed and humble day. I hope all of y'all continue to have a blessed and humble day. News like this really does break my heart. What we do need to do is, I just sounded like real funny, right? What we need to do is actually bring solutions to the table. In my opinion, I said this on the last live, I believe that all these bus drivers need aids. Like they need a bus monitor, as they say in other places. I'm from North Philly, so I'm sorry if my lingo is a little. So, like I said before, in my opinion, these bus drivers do need more. Do need aids in the bus. I'm glad they got cameras in these buses. I wish we had cameras in the schools, yo. Like, I really wish more parents come together to do that. But today's topic is 6-year-old, update on the 6-year-old that repeatedly gets raped by an older boy. So it seems like the older boy was 11 years old, that the boy that, you know, sexually assaulted the 6-year-old. It seems like he's being charged with 3 counts of a felony. In my opinion, listen, I know that one bus driver and a lot of kids gets hectic and stuff like that, but allegedly on the video, it like, listen, even the bus driver said it herself, like, you know, she stopped, shouted, told them to supposedly stop fighting, and, you know, allegedly he kept driving. As a bus driver with a you know, a bus full of kids, there's fighting, there's something, like, it's constantly happening. I'ma stop, but this is my opinion. Once again, I don't want nobody to get offended, but I know I'm not wrong in this situation. I'm not the only one that feels like this. Stop and check. It's happened more than one, and it's happened it's happened constantly. But you stopped, shouted, and kept going instead of going to figure out what the problem was at the back of the bus. That I don't know, you got a mirror, you should be able to see. Like, a lot of kids witnessed what was happening. Like, this is a heartbreaking story, and I really hope that this 6-year-old gets justice, real justice. Like, the people that had the recording for months, like, the incident supposedly started around September, like, them too, they sat on them tapes. They should be held accountable. A lot of them should be, a lot of people should be held accountable in this situation, not just the 11-year-old boy that committed the act. And it's crazy how the 6-year-old boy didn't want the 11-year-old. Like, that's how you can see how these kids are so pure and innocent. But hey, this is my opinion. I had a little lashback. People got mad at me, all bus drivers. Listen, I know that bus drivers have a hectic job. I know that bus drivers don't have it easy. But that does not take away from the fact that this bus driver stopped, keyword stopped, yelled, and kept driving. Because he thought that they was having a wrestling match back. I mean, she thought that they was having a wrestling match back there. No. If you see something getting out of control, you stop your bus. For all those that care about the driver getting into an accident, you stop the damn bus and go figure out what's going on and put some order. It's just you by yourself. Exactly. All the yelling, all the screaming. He or she, it doesn't matter what driver. It's kind of hard to focus on the road. So, out of all them times that the driver stopped to shout, she could have gotten back there to figure out what was going on. Like, don't they got these mirrors right there in the middle of the bus? Like, you could see, you know, all the way in the back and stuff like that. Like, come on, I don't, listen. And then the people that have the tapes, the security tape, sat on them tapes long enough. Like, people out here making excuses for a lot of stuff. Like, there shouldn't be no excuses. Like, this situation did not get handled appropriately. It did not get handled right. This mom shouldn't have found out months later. She knew that the behavior of her child was changing. She probably asked more than once. How many of y'all don't get ignored by the school district? How many of y'all don't get pushed around by the school district? They make you fucking hop from place to place until you finally get back, or you end up suing the shit out of them. How many lawsuits don't the school district of any place got because they ignore the situations that are happening in our schools? And, you know, videos like this people ignore because, listen, I don't know why y'all not, I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand why ignore the situation when it should be talked about. Why ignore it? This right here is the mom. Like, it's crazy how this 6-year-old has more empathy for a lot of the stuff that's going on, and he didn't even understand what really happened to him than what a lot of these adults do. What can we do to bring solutions to the table instead of, you know, bringing negativity to the table? There's got to be a way that we can handle the situation so stuff like this doesn't happen in the near future. We're not just going to keep waiting for situations like this to happen and then try to figure it out, and people can't agree, people disagreeing. Like, we got to come together and figure out a solution, not keep fighting over this. Oh, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're right. You're right. You're right. Okay, you're wrong. You're wrong. I'm right. I'm right. She's right. She's right. He's wrong. He's wrong. Out of all these rights and wrongs, which one is a good solution to put out here to help resolve these type of problems? Make sure that I'm sharing the screen right. So I'm gonna
has been taken away from him.
This mother is in disbelief after getting a call from her.
My child's innocence has been taken away from him.
This mother is in disbelief after getting a call from her 6-year-old son's school earlier this week.
He's been tainted prematurely.
He came home without his backpack Monday, so she contacted the transportation department to request they review bus surveillance video. She says they saw much worse.
Well, there's video that a sexual assault occurred on transportation.
Aldine ISD police interviewed her son this week when he shared disturbing details of the assaults now outlined in these sworn affidavits, alleging that the other boy lured him to the back of the bus during his 2-hour ride home.
He's been coached and groomed that it was a game, and the loser, the way that the loser is determined is if you tell.
Aldine ISD says it's interviewing students and staff while reviewing video footage. An ongoing investigation unimaginable for this mother who's worried it's happened more than once after noticing her son's behavior change 4 months ago.
It's sickening, it's sad, and I am going to advocate for my child, and I want everybody that failed him to be held accountable.
Now, y'all heard it at the end. She said she wants everybody that has failed him to be held accountable.
Hawaii News Now is introducing First Alert Weather.
We're identifying the days when the weather could be unusual or even dangerous. When we see that headed your way, we'll issue a First Alert here on TV and all your devices.
First Alert Weather, only on Hawaii News Now.
My child's innocence.
So even the mom knows that something's not right here, but like, what can we do to prevent situations like this? Like, in my opinion, I think they need to put more people, you know, behind these security cameras so they can alert the police, stuff like that. I said that when I was in the meetings down here. And like, to find out that they supposedly, you know, they don't have enough funds to put cameras in all classrooms and all schools and yada yada. I could just keep going. I mean, I get where they're coming from, but like, I'm trying to figure out, okay, they don't have the funds, but like, for example, I have a petition. Blessings, the Bullets Gotti Show. How you doing today? So one of my, like, here's my biggest concern, right? Y'all got funds for a whole lot of other things, right? I'm not coming at him, and I understand where the guy was coming from. I was talking to the representative from Boyle. And I do got to email him back after this meeting that we just had. But my whole thing is, right, what happens if enough people stands up, right? Enough people speak up and they say, we demand these cameras in our schools, in our classrooms, in order to see what's going on, you know, and stuff like this. Like, as y'all can see right here, these cameras helped in these buses. And that's one of the reasons why I show these videos like this. And it should be brought aware. Shit like this should be brought. More people should bring awareness to stuff like this. So, I mean, I don't know why people don't talk about situations like this. Like, more topics get brought about this. I mean, I don't know why I'm stuttering right now. But I know it's not an easy topic to talk about. But what can we do? Like I said, and I'm going to keep saying it over and over. What can we do to avoid, to prevent a situation like this happening again? For those of y'all saying these bus drivers, they already have it hard. I know they have it hard. Why isn't there an aid in these buses to help the driver? And even though that this bus driver was alone, doesn't take away the fact, once again, it doesn't take the fact away that this driver stopped multiple times to yell at this kid. This driver stopped in his own videos on surveillance. Why not get up and try to figure out what was going on back there and stop the situation? And if something was going on right there and then, do something about it. I'm not taking away from drivers having a hard day, all these students screaming and yelling. I understand that. But as a driver, common sense. Something, kids are yelling, I see through my mirror something not right back there. Like, I'm just gonna stop my bus and just randomly scream down there, stop it, or what's going on? I'm gonna get up and figure out what the hell is going on back there. This driver didn't do that. This driver yelled and kept driving. So for those of you that think that I don't think that, all the people that was, looking at the surveillance camera shouldn't be held accountable, they should be held accountable too, because they sat on these tapes since September and not once called it in, not once made a report. I call the driver neglectful because she did the same thing for several months. Stop the bus, yell at the kids, not even make a complaint to the school district, not even make a complaint to, her boss or anybody. The mom says it on the video. She hopes that a lot of people are held accountable. And in my opinion, those people that knew what was happening to her son and didn't say nothing should be held accountable. I don't know if this, I mean, something deep down is telling me that the driver saw something through the mirror and didn't say nothing. Thought they were probably horse playing. No, like, when something like this is happening, it's like, then them kids, like, you're telling me that these kids was not screaming. Probably that's one of the reasons why these kids were screaming. Oh, he's doing this to him, or I don't know. Like, come on, y'all gotta really use your heads. Like, it's just, shit is crazy. Like, I don't trust no one. So listen, I wouldn't put it past the driver. Like, all I could say is that this little kid was violated in ways that he shouldn't have been violated. Like, the people that should have protected him didn't protect him. And once again, I get it. Bus drivers got a handful. Doesn't take away the fact that when you see something wrong, you're not going to get up and not do something about it. Come on, man. Let's make it make sense. You just sat there and let them scream. Like, you're telling me through that little mirror you got right there in front of you, you couldn't see what was going on back there? That something was off in the way that it was play fighting. Because, listen, a little kid getting sexually assaulted in the back of the bus is not going to sit here and look like they're just play fighting. Like, make it make sense. Listen to the mom once again.
Has been taken away from me. My child's innocence has been taken away from him.
This mother is in disbelief after getting a call from her 6-year-old son's school earlier this week.
He's been tainted prematurely.
He came home without his backpack Monday, so she contacted the transportation department to request they review bus surveillance video. She says they saw much worse.
There's video that a sexual assault occurred on transportation.
Aldine ISD police interviewed her son this week when he shared disturbing details of the assaults now outlined in these sworn affidavits, alleging that the other boy lured him to the back of the bus during his 2-hour ride home.
He's been coached and groomed that it was a game, and the loser, the way that the loser is determined is if you tell.
Aldine ISD says it's interviewing students and staff while reviewing video footage.
I'm sorry, but them type of games to me is not no game. So I also, this is my opinion, I don't care who gets mad at me, I believe that the little boy needs some type of help, some type of treatment. He needs to go into some type of program that'll help him, because an 11-year-old acting out like this, doing stuff like this, means that he's going through something in his household, in his community, somewhere that he's at, he's experiencing something that he should not be experiencing. He's seeing something he should not be seeing it, or he's actually going through it. Like I said, it goes with the experience part. Like, it's just crazy, because for an 11-year-old to has he done this to anybody else in that bus? Like, they're doing the investigation now, but to how many more kids has he done this to? How many, I hope that the kids in this bus and that's been around him do get some type of counseling. And for those that our counseling don't work, listen, you get long enough counseling, long enough therapy, it does work. You don't need to shove your kids, all this medication down your kid's throat and think, oh, this is going to solve the problem. That's where y'all go wrong at. It's these fucking medications. Like these type of events are traumatic. Like yo, if an adult has a hard time going through something like this, imagine a child. And then an innocent child. All I'm saying is that y'all gotta really take into consideration that him going to jail is gonna make it much worse. Will he come out different? Will he come out the same? Will he come out much worse than what he went in? We're talking about an 11-year-old that's probably going through something and doesn't know how to talk about it. That's probably witnessed something, and this is his way of lashing out. Is not a good way, and I don't agree with what he's doing. I'm really, listen. But I also got to take into consideration that this is a child. What did he see? What did he experience? And in my opinion, he should be getting some type of help. Serious help at that. Like, I don't know if they got any type of programs that'll help kids like this. Like, I don't know if y'all know anybody that's been through something like this, but I know that I've seen enough documentaries and stuff like that. Like, and I like, when I was younger, I know that, kids experience rape and stuff like that. But I didn't know that another kid could, commit rape. So as I got older, I started, seeing stuff like this and understanding more. And it's crazy because I always thought that it was the other way around. I didn't know that a kid could commit rape. And as you can see, like, damn. So this kid seriously needs some type of help. In my opinion, I think jail. I know a lot of people been to jail. He's 11 years old. What do y'all think is going to happen to him in jail? For those that have been in jail, I haven't. Listen, I stepped foot in a jail cell. I was detained for 24 hours until they paid my bond. I went to jail and I proved that, listen, what happened to me was, boom, self-defense, blah, blah, blah. They let me out. Charges cleared, expunged, everything. Like, I've never been locked up in no fucking prison or nothing like that. So I've never experienced jail. Not a day in my motherfucking life. I'm sorry to say it. So I know that I've heard stories and stuff like that. So for those of you that have been in there, like, imagine an 11-year-old, like, listen, I don't think he's gonna come out any better. I think he's gonna come out worse. Jail's not the solution. He needs some type of program. We need to find out what's going on in his household or in the community or wherever he be at. Because sometimes we think it's always in the household, and sometimes it could be a friend's house, it could be an uncle's house, it could be, listen, yeah, it stays in the family, or it could be, friend-wise, it could be a neighbor. It could happen in the store. Like, y'all need to open up your eyes. Like, he could be going through something somewhere. Main place could be, probably the house. But I've learned that, these kids experience a lot of shit in other places. It doesn't just always happen in the house. It's not always mommy and daddy or grandma and grandma that do it, or uncle and auntie. Sometimes it could be a neighbor. Sometimes it could be a friend. Hey, like, y'all gotta really look at it. What he's going through, I don't know. And I pray to God that he gets the services that he needs. I think that the people that viewed the surveillance tape and didn't do nothing about it should be held accountable some way, shape, and form. Same way with the driver. Like, y'all sat here and really, I can't even tell you because I wasn't there. Did the driver actually see something or didn't see something? You see where I'm coming from? Like, I'm not going to sit here and defend no driver not knowing what happens in these schools, but not knowing this fucking driver from a can of paint. Like, nah, you got me messed up. Like, I understand that there's a lot of innocent teachers, there's a lot of innocent staff, but I've shown this before, and this happened like this. There's been bus drivers that have gotten put away for doing the same thing. I don't know what was going through this driver's head. Like, you literally sat there knowing that there was some type of fuss going back there, and it wasn't a normal fight or a normal, play around, like, the way kids play around. You still kept driving. Could have stopped it right there and then call the cops, did something. But once again, it's under investigation. My opinion is my opinion, and it doesn't matter to a lot. It may offend others, but at the end of the day, listen, I know my conscience will be cleared because I wouldn't sit here and do what this driver did. Like, I just can't. Like, to sit here and see that something's not right in the back of my bus as a bus driver and just scream, stop it, or what's going on, and just keep driving, and it's happened multiple times. Nah, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna figure out what's going on back there. Like, come on. Make that shit make sense. Let me present the camera one more time. Let me see. Is it this one?
Child has been charged with 3 counts of sexual assault of a child. Now, that alleged victim is only 6 years old. ABC 13 spoke with the victim's mother last week. You might remember this story. She was visibly upset, hurt, and outraged. She said her son was assaulted multiple times by another boy on the bus. Well, the Harris County DA's office is saying those charges were filed after an investigation by the DA's Juvenile Division and the Aldine ISD Police.
So with that being said, let me know what y'all think could have been done, what can be done to prevent future situations like this. Like, leave y'all comments down below. Let me know what y'all think. Should all parties be held accountable? Like, what can we do as communities to prevent situations like this to happen in our schools, around our areas, and, you know, situations like this? And there was already a camera here. Good thing that the camera was there so that we could have seen what happened between who and who. So this goes once again, like, for those of you that don't know me, please sign that petition. Let's get these cameras in our schools, in each and every one of those classrooms. Let's do this worldwide. Let's speak up as parents so that we can figure out what's going on in these classrooms and help our kids, especially the ones that are committing suicide due to the bullying, due to them getting, you know, listen, I include the molestation and the rape and all that that's happening in our schools into the bullying, because when you look up the definition of a bully, is someone, someone that sits here and basically someone that thinks they has more power over you. How can I say? I really right now I don't know how to put it into words. Blessings, Nate the Great. But I know I did a video on that, on the definition of bullying and stuff like that. But basically, a bully is somebody that has, you know, the power to take basically someone that could overpower the person that they're picking on. But in reality, guess what? You could overpower your bully by standing up on some real shit and speaking up. And in certain situations, it's not easy for certain of them because of the situation that they is in. But shit, you can always overpower your bully. I learned that a little late, but I learned that, Sean. Like, it doesn't matter what situation you in, you can always overpower that bully. You can always make the tables turn, and instead of them having the power, you can have the power. And people think, oh no, I'm gonna have power by, you know, strength. No, man, it has nothing to do with picking up weights or none of that shit. You can use that brain power, yo, to overpower the motherfuckers. Like, y'all might not understand where I'm coming from right now, but like I said, therapy works. Years of therapy may work. Sometimes listen, there's always a way to get out of certain situations. At the moment, you may not know it or may not, you know, figure it out, but in due time, you'll figure out how to get away or get out of certain situations and, you know, beat the outcome. So what I'm trying to say is that all of us together, we can actually make a difference. Like, I've shown it, I've proved it before, and I don't know what it's going to take. Like, it's a shame. I hope that this little kid really does get justice. I'm hoping that this 11-year-old, instead of going to jail, he goes, you know, into some type of program that will help him. Like, because I really believe, in my opinion, that something seriously, like something bad seriously, like he's witnessed something. Either he witnessed something like that happening around him, or he went through it himself. And doesn't know how to, talk, how to speak. And they do say that boys are not good with speaking on the emotions. Like, that's one thing that I have learned. Same as girls, but boys are much harder. Y'all just really, y'all don't let it out. I don't know how to put it into words. You have to be a man and, talk about it yourself in order to express why is it is hard for a man to, speak on his emotions or speak to someone else about how they feeling or what they're going through. Like us females, sometimes we just get mad and we just lash it out. I've noticed a lot of men, when they mad, they walk away. Silence. You see where I'm coming from? Like, and it's crazy because, like, oh no, I be seeing a lot of men scream, oh, they be in their bag, oh, they be in their emotions. Yeah, I get that part. But all these real men, I've seen a lot of them. And they don't sit here and act like us females and scream and let it all out. They hold that shit in. And when I'm telling you that when they'll sit here and fucking punch something, they'll punch something like they get in their Rocky Balboa bag. So I'm not saying some people might take that and let that go over their head, everything I just said. But my whole point is that this 11-year-old that did this to this 6-year-old, that sexually assaulted this 6-year-old, is going through something, went through something, witnessed something, either in his household or outside the household, whether it's in the community, in a friend's house, somewhere. Blessings is the word. Yes, yes, yes. These new dudes, more emotional than the women. Yes, they are. But they're not. Listen, I think these new dudes are just confused. I'm sorry. But when it comes to like the situation right here, right now with the little 6-year-old boy, I think that we can, how can I say it? We can bring solutions to the table now in order to avoid whether this happened in Texas or not. It's happened in other places. Oh wait, you know what? Let me prove it like this. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Fair use allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission from the copyright holder for purposes such as criticism, parody, news reporting, research, and scholarships and teaching. Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this video or any video, including the Writers for Life Brings You to Let's Talk About It podcast, do not reflects on the opinions of y'all Shorty, Racheal, and the members of the Writer for Life podcast. Everything we talk about is allegedly and is our opinion. Our videos are not recommended for minors. Everything we talk about and do is meant for educational purposes and also entertainment. Please keep in mind that the majority of our videos are for educational purposes only. This world is crazy. I would say shady. Ironic, right? Nowadays, you can't trust no one. When you do, niggas